Well, hello everyone. We're back. It's Lauren in Phoenix, and last time you saw us, if you watched the last videos, I was in heavy clothes and jackets, and Phoenix had fans on her because it was summer by her, and now we're kind of in the opposite. Glad to be back. Glad to be talking again. We just want to pick up where we left off with some of your amazing questions. Get together and see what comes through our channeling partners, and have a bit of fun, and hopefully you enjoy it. We have I'm excited to see what comes through with this first question, and I'm going to read the question and then let Phoenix take over because she's definitely more into the Akashic. That's more her specialty than mine right now. So from Anna Capolango, the Akashic records are our physical personal life experiences. Do all spirits have access to our records? So she wants to know, through our Akashic records, do all spirits have connection to that? Can they all have access to our records? So I'm going to put this over to Phoenix and then see you back in a minute.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk to that, but that's cool because there was a plane. No, because every time any kind of anything happens in any discussion that I have with anybody, is part of the discussion, really. And there was a big huge plane that flew over, and it kept flicking back from you to me to you to me, and I thought, oh, cool, I'll just mute it. So that's why I was a bit taken aback. Anyway, Anna, you were asking whether or not the Akashic records, if all spirit. Depends on how you define spirit, really. Primarily, the only interest for those wanting to tap into your Akasha is yourself and those that work around you. So, and these are the ones that you've essentially given permission for at a soul level. And I'm not going to say it's a small amount because it's not. It's huge. But the thing is, though, you've made a very strong vibrational connection with these energies that are going to be working with you in each incarnation that you experience. And so, but if you're saying spirit and as far as ancestors, well, yes, some of those are going to be part of that group as well. However, essentially, no one outside of that circle, unless you've given them permission to, because I can connect with other people's Akasha, and other people can do the same. That you've given permission to. Now, at some point, though, even at a soul level, you've decided this process. You've allowed my energy to connect with your energy at some point. So it's all based on people honoring the place, because essentially this is the essence of all of you. And the many different lives and the many different lessons and the objects and the people and the experience that you had with each life that you are having at the same time. But that's a whole other story. And so they can tap into with you to determine a particular aspect of yourself that you're trying to determine. Just trying to get a read of this. So that I don't know how you define spirit, because I have found the terminology spirit being all the way from your past relative, or even a friend, or even an animal, all the way to angels. So I don't know how you define spirit, so that you may need to clarify that with us at some point. But as I said, essentially at a soul level, the only energies that can connect with that are you, and those that you have given permission, and those that work around you constantly, because this gets very convoluted, but we have many different lives, and this sort of takes us on to the next one. I might as well just keep on going. Keeps us on to the next one, because every single life has the potential to affect others, depending on how strong a particular experience was that affected that soul part of you that needed you to experience it in other different ways for other different reasons, getting different angles of a situation to determine how you could work out a better way to get yourself above the situation or work through the situation. And the reasons are for the spirits to help us is because they can tap into all the different lives at one point as you are having your perceived life. It gets very convoluted. It would be easy if I drew a picture, but you can have your one life and then you've got all these different other lives that are existing at once, and then you have an aspect like let's talk from a personal experience. Somewhere I've had an experience where I have been with my family in a room where food was very scarce, and we were reliant on other people bringing us food, and to the point where some of my families actually passed because there wasn't enough food. And in this life, it's been a huge one for me. You wouldn't think so to look at me, but the thing is that concern about not being able to provide for my family either food or shelter or all the basic living, and that has filtered from this life into this one. And I'm sure there's many other experiences in life that have a similar theme about it. And the energies that are working around me can provide how do I word this, energetic memory from a different experience into my current now, if I allow it. Of course, everyone's different, or some people don't know why they have different phobias or different concerns in life that are a repeating pattern in life, and those energies, those spirits that you may call them, Anna, have come through to provide us information based on other lives to help us try and generate a new outcome or to work out a new process to make you find peace with a certain issue that you may have or may have had in many different lives. And it's a very good question. And the second question was from Jen Hodgson. When it comes to past lives, why are some easier to remember and some others? It's all relevant to your current now, what is going on in your current perceived now, and your energies and your soul team, or whatever names you give it, guides or totems or whatever energies name you give these energies. They are all there to help you, and they have access to this, to your Akasha. And it's given different names, your soul library or the holistic hall. It's been given lots of different names. So no, not everybody can have access to it. Someone's listening. Be interesting to see if anybody picks up on that. Not everybody has access to it, but only those that you've essentially given permission to, either at a human current now moment or when, at a soul level. So let's see if Lauren has anything more to add. I'm sorry, I've incorporated two questions into one, but it's simple.
They are connected, which is pretty cool. So when I read this question, the immediate answer that came to me was no, not every spirit has access to your Akashic records. And that would be, so what I saw was that, this library, and that there are certain spirits that kind of guard the Akashic, right? That's what I saw in my mind as I read this question. And that there are energies that, Phoenix was right, that work with you. So they only have access to the Akashic of what is going to be most serve you now. So what you are, your question, I wonder where it's coming from. Like, are you asking if a spirit guide can access your Akashic? I would say yes, those that work with you, just like Phoenix said, would be able to access those records in a way that would help serve your highest good right now in this lifetime. I think that also as souls and our highest selves, that we do plan. That's part of our Akashic record, something we study as souls. So when we plan our lives and our plan for our incarnations, that we have already decided what we need from the Akash, what spirits are going to work with us from our Akashic records. So it's not like public library where any spirit can go and, check out your your Akashic library books, but it's more what is going to most serve you in this lifetime. And like Phoenix said, we're living many lifetimes kind of at once, and many possibilities of this physical incarnation as well as others. And I think that the Akasha is such a complicated to us and intricate and ever evolving thing, that there are certain like Akashic guides and spirits that help to manage, and the spirits that we work with kind of work with them to be able to get the information that we need. And even when we review our own Akash as souls, those Akashic guides help us review, because it is such an evolving type of thing. It's not just here's this one life and this, there's so many things that influence us beyond our scope right now. But yes, so pretty much I agree with Phoenix that we give permission to our guides and the ones that are working with us. And the only other thing I had to add with that is that I feel like there are certain Akashic guides that guard the Akash and work with, okay, I will give you this book is what you need right now, so this is what is serving your highest good. So that's kind of the intuitive answer that I got. And heading into Jen's question about past lives, same answer. We have access to what we need and what we're working through for this life. So yes, can past lives and other lives affect your now? Yes. And so if you're remembering those lives, that's the lesson you're kind of wanting to complete or address in this life. And so the ones that like, would you want to go back and repeat the 7th grade if you didn't need to, if there was no reason to? You know what I mean? So the lives that you're not remembering, it's just because you've completed those lessons, you've had that experience, and there's kind of no real reason. Because as humans, you might take that life and apply it to your life now in a way that's not really serving your highest good, because you've done that lesson, you're over with. So again, like, why would you repeat the 7th grade if you've learned everything from the 7th grade? There's no need to. So you would only go and retrieve the lessons that you kind of need to refresh, complete, or get a higher perspective of. So there's my question. There's my answer to that. Anything to add, Phoenix?
You were talking about how there are energies there that provide, the guardians of the Akasha. Yes, there most definitely are the energies. Those energies that I work with, they represent the origins of existence, if you want to give it that kind of word, and all existences, not just our universe, but I'm talking about all. So they have different ways of looking and feeling and being, and they have different energies. So I've been privileged to connect with many of them, but I haven't been able to connect with all of them just yet, and there's probably a reason for that, but we'll work that one out at some other point. But they really do have an amazing capacity to provide information for, and this is something that anybody can tap into. I'm not saying I'm special, I can tap into these energies. I'm saying everybody can if you just open the door and let them in. And they're very lovely, by the way, and they can provide wonderful healing at the same time. But they because they have such an amazing insight about humanity from all different levels, different either technological or evolutionary, or just the whole progress of humanity. They have an understanding, essentially, because many of them have at some point, not all of them, but some point been the humanity is their ancestors, so to speak. So they are always very happy to provide any insight that you need about your current now. just know that sometimes it's not always easy getting into this energetic place. It's going to look very different for very many different people. Some will see the library only because it's been called the Akashic Library. Some will see, I tend to see like a big, it's almost very Greek in origin, and it has like white pillars, and it is a big huge stairs going up to this big, it almost looks like a palace, and initially I couldn't find any way to get into the place. There was no windows. I've said this story many times, but there were no windows, and it's obviously not ready to go in. And about 2 or 3 years after that, I did that, and this is when things were starting to really open up for me in my spiritual awareness, and then I did find a door. It was like hard to miss. It was like a big, in fact, it didn't have a door. It was just a big opening. It's like, okay, I guess I can go in this time. So I went on through, and I didn't see books, but I mean, that's okay. If some people will see scrolls and other people will see nothing, I saw lots of people, and I was able to go up to people and converse with them. But then I was instructed to go towards this big huge crystal that was, it was huge. It was like one of those, I don't know, I'm not very good with crystals, but it was white blue, you know. It was so white it looked blue. I don't know how to describe that, but and I went up to it, and I was told to put my hands out in front of it, so I did. And you know, you kind of behave yourself when you're in a place like this. You feel very humbled and thankful for being in a place like this. And then the shocking thing they did was they gave me a piece, you know, all these people that were wandering around, they gave me a piece of this crystal, and I was to hold it. And it's like, why? And I had no idea, but it was overwhelming. And it was, you know, I guess I placed it in my heart. So I was gifted something. So you can actually go here and be gifted something from the Akasha to hold in your current now for whatever reason. For me, it was to use to teach, because I'm allowed to connect to these energies a lot easier through this crystal, I'm assuming. And of that, I'm very thankful. So whatever experience you have, go in with the most openest mind that you could possibly have, because no matter what other people have experienced, you could be experiencing something totally different. And you can ask your guides, because they do have access to this too. They can help you get there, or you can ask other people to help you as well. So it's entirely up to you how you approach this. For the longest time, I was desperate to get to it, and I couldn't get in, and then I forgot about it, and then life sort of happened, and then I got in really easily, but then was gifted something that really opened up my life to a whole raft of things. But I'm very, very grateful for it, so don't get me wrong with that. So I just thought I would share that experience. So please, if you ever go into the Akashic, there are many that think that it's in a sacred space, and yes, it is a sacred space, but they think that it's not something that all people should have access to. You know, I can acknowledge that. If you have access to it, you will be shown a way. Initially I wasn't, but after that I was. I don't go to it very often, but I do enjoy. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoy the responsibility that I have afterwards to help things grow and expand. And honestly, it's amazing. So I do recommend doing it when you feel ready. I wouldn't push it until you do, or even get the urge to, which is what I did. So I'll just hand this over to Lauren now. I thought I'd put that in.
Well, Phoenix, I'm actually going to turn it back to you, because I have a question that I would like some clarity on, that I almost, you know, feel like I have an idea. I think it would be good for everybody here, since we're talking about the Akasha. Why? So this, in our readings and what we see about the Akasha, it seems like only special people can access these records. It seems like, well, you have to go through all of this training. You have to be really in a place to be able to get it, and you have to be like almost perfect and go through all of this stuff in order to get to the Akasha. So that's the impression that I think a lot of us may have when we're doing, you know, reading or studying about the Akash. So your thoughts and guidance about that.
Um, you know, how do I word this nicely? um, Many things spiritual have this air of mystery, this only the unique, only the special, only the elite, only those who are worthy. All these types of terminologies that have grown from many cultures and ancient ways, and it's almost become indoctrinated in our way of defining different aspects of anything really in life. It just seems that you have to be special to do A, B, C, or D, and this with the Akasha is exactly the same thing. Because I thought when I couldn't get in, I said, oh well, I'm not special enough, you know, because I fell into that that illusion of you know, some things I just cannot do. But the only thing is that is just conditioning from many years of saying only the elite can. And I challenge that now. I challenge anybody saying that you cannot do anything. I remember raising my kids, when the bigger kids, when they were little, and I said to them, you can put your mind to anything. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And one of them would say, oh, can I fly? And it's like, oh, don't be so stupid. But you can fly, but you have to go into a meditative state. You can do things in a different way. And they'd look at me in a weird way because they were only about 5 or 6 at that point. But anyway, I say you can fly, but not with your arms. Or you can fly to succeed. So I twisted it around a little bit because I do that. But I'm saying is, when you are ready, and anything, no matter what you want to do, everything, the world will conspire, or the universe will conspire around you to make it happen. And no, you do not have to be special. No, you do not have to be elite. You just have to allow and be ready to receive whatever information and go in with an open mind. There are times where I think, oh, because I watch these people and they're amazing with the evidence that they get when they do readings, and real spot on stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, I just so can't do that. And of course, I struggled, you know, at the beginning of my growth. I struggled at finding any kind of, you know, type of specific thing that I could connect to tell people about their loved ones or whatever they needed. But that was me putting my own limitation on me, and so I made it happen. And I thought, and then I started listening to some of the things that I'm saying, like I am right now, that it's not for the elite. You can do anything that you put your mind to, and as long as you come and work from the heart and treat the place with the respect that it deserves, because honestly, it's a shrine to you. And I'm not talking about your current incarnation you, but I'm talking about your soul you, your oversoul, the essence of you. Then you will be given the access, and you will also be given certain things to help you on your current moment for now. And when you are ready, you'll be given quite a lot of homework to do, and you'll be able to share it with the world. But that's okay, because if you are given certain things, you are ready for it. And that's not just with walking into the Akasha. That's with life in general. If you are ready for it, you will be given it, and you will cope if you just remember to ask for help. You don't have to do things. I'm going on a tangent here, but you don't have to do things. You don't have to do things on your own, and we do feel very isolated, but that's another conditioned thing that we are breaking away from. So you can do anything that you desire, especially if it comes from here, and the Akasha will be opening up to you with welcome energies to you in whatever way. And So just believe that you are able to move into this process and get what out of it you're supposed to get for the time. It has amazing energies. I don't know if anybody's worked with angels or even with the real source energy. It does make you feel like you're flying, and that's it's very interesting. It's all come around in a full circle. We talked about the plane before. I wondered what it meant, but that's what it's saying, is that you can fly into all avenues as long as you don't put any limitations on yourself. So I hope does that answer your question?
It does. It truly does. And it's funny. I want to only piggyback because I think that was a question I think that a lot of us may have. We feel almost undeserving or not ready, or like, oh, I can't, limitations on what we can and cannot do. So I think that your answer really addressed that, and in a positive way, that we can. And it was a good reminder. And it reminded me of a book I recently read called The Alchemist by Paul Coelho. And I think a lot of you may have heard it. It's a quick read, and it really is, it's a story. And it's about how one little shepherd boy manifested on his journey by trusting the universe, by going, meeting their challenges. And you see in this one story how the universe works to conspire to help you get whatever it is that you desire. And it was really, really inspiring. So if you're interested and you kind of, you connected to the answer that Phoenix just gave, and you want to explore it a little bit more, that book is, like I said, a very quick read. I read it in 2 days, but I think it would be just a really nice reminder of what we're capable of, even in our doubt. So, and that's it. Thank you for answering that, Phoenix.
Pleasure.
All right. So I think next time we'll answer the other 2 questions we have, and then put an end to this one, not make it too long, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any other questions or want to explore anything else that you think that Phoenix or I can help you answer, or get guidance on, or help you form your own answer, please let us know. We love getting together. And thank you for your questions, and see you soon.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.